Hello game fans! Now, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Now this video is probably a bit late for all of those that have already bought it. If you're a big fan of Call of Duty, then you probably already bought it, played it, completed it, and eagerly waiting for Black Ops 3. But for those that have been sitting on the fence, waiting for it to reduce in price, I thought I would just put down on video just some of my opinions on the latest Call of Duty offering, because I have finally completed it. I've finally done a few rounds on the multiplayer, and just thought I wanted to get my opinion out there, because I wasn't sure. They said it was a Titanfall killer, but personally I don't think so. But it did vastly improve on Ghosts. I mean vastly. So what I wanted to do is just outline just a few little tidbits, and maybe this will help you in your purchasing decision, or maybe you'll agree with it and you'll comment. But if you do like and comment, then please feel free. And here is my review of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Reviewing a Call of Duty game this long after release is madness. Those that were going to buy it have already bought it and played it to death by now. And those that had never intended to buy it are probably knee-deep in the Dragon Ages and the Witches of this world, with no time for COD. After being burnt by Ghosts, I was hesitant to jump straight into Advanced Warfare, especially as I was still playing Destiny and Alien Isolation. I think playing it on release would have just given me a first-person shooter overdose, and you would have found me hiding behind a box with some itchy trigger fingers. 6 months later, I found myself tackling its 8-hour adrenaline-filled campaign. The story sees you, Jack Mitchell, a soldier who loses an arm in a battle in which your friend horribly dies, and you find yourself at his funeral. And you meet his father, the corporate mogul Jonathan Irons, played by Kevin Spacey. He gets you a robotic arm and drafts you into his private army called Atlas. Now, long story short, you do a lot of Atlas missions around the world, then find out Atlas is bad, then try and stop it using other various missions, and then try and stop Kevin Spacey after he goes all maniacal dictator on everyone. The story works well, and there is a range of locations. There's claustrophobic market streets all the way to barren ice plains. The levels all feel different, and Sledgehammer Games have crammed in a lot of game into this edition of Call of Duty, because you run, you gun, you climb, you swim, you drive, you fly, and you even harpoon your way across levels. Some of these mechanics break up the shooting well, such as the drone support levels, but the flying and the driving lessons still feel as unnatural as ever. I should, however, note that the big AAA titles get judged on a whole different scale to normal games. So when I knock it, it's only in comparison to its peers in the AAA space. Companies with that much money and resource are a whole different kettle of fish to the indie developers and the small studios. Moving on, the single player campaign is very exciting, and the pacing is fast, giving you this feeling of being in a James Bond movie, but without the sex scenes. Sadly, you'll only have to stare at Iona's bum to hit those buttons. As with other Call of Duty games, you follow around another soldier and you do as you're told. The other soldier here is Gideon, who is a particular badass, and his voice acting is one of the best in the business. Overall, the single player campaign is fun, as the enemies are not overly taxing, and they keep the narrative moving on. I was a little bit disappointed that I could run across an ice plain full of Atlas troops and start pushing a box and not be killed instantly, but it was a fun roller coaster. Should you die, the restarts are fast and furious, and some levels are more taxing than others. The game is jam-packed full of features such as boost jumps, wall climbing abilities, camo skins, and even hulking mech suits, but the game merely serves as a teaser trailer for each feature. You might be doing a stage where you just use one of these features but then never see it again for the rest of the game. There's just so many ideas and just not enough game. Obviously these features have been saved for the multiplayer, which is truly killer. The maps, weapons and new features were enough to keep any Call of Duty fan entertained for months. The matchmaking was spot on for me, and I was amazed at how much I could actually hold my own in the first game instead of having my ass handed to me every time. I was really happy to see how different it was to Titanfall, as I was worried in the early days that it was going to be too similar. Thankfully, it was different enough to keep me happy and playing both the games. The Exo Zombie section certainly dangled a very tempting carrot, as it used John Malkovich and Bill Pullman to introduce a very tempting side campaign against rampaging zombies. In the latest update, they have also added Bruce Campbell to the roster, and I kind of wish I played it, but after a month or so I thought it was time to move on. However, it is great to know that it's there. To summarise, the latest Call of Duty is a return to form, as the single player is exciting and the multiplayer is fantastic. The extra features are spread about to keep the core game intact, and the additional content ensures that the game will live on for many, many months. With its impressive cast of Hollywood actors and larger-than-life set pieces, it is a joy to play from start to finish, if a little disjointed and sometimes a bit too easy. If you haven't yet jumped on the back of the Call of Duty bandwagon, then take it from me that you need to climb on board, as there is a futuristic, star-filled Hollywood party going on and you are invited. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will be back with another video next week.
Will told me what kind of soldier you were. You deserve to fight for a military that's as effective as you are. Think about it. Don't let Will's death be in vain. Sergeant.